Good morning, everyone. We're doing something a little different with today's video. So we're gonna do a little field trip. We're heading over to my friend Denise's house. Denise and two other women there have been exercising for years. Literally, they are very consistent with their exercise, and I want to get below the surface a little bit and ask them some questions as to how they stay consistent, why they are so dedicated toward their fitness, and hopefully we'll gain some insights to see how we can stay on that bandwagon of fitness and exercise for the rest of our lives as well. All right, are you ready to join me? Let's head on over. So the reason why I wanted to get together with you guys is basically because I think there's a lot of people who say that they want to exercise, right? They say that they want to make a commitment to making exercise part of their everyday life. They want to be fit people, and yet somehow they just can't seem to make it stick. But you guys have exercised for years and years and years. So what's your secret? There's got to be a secret. There's got to be something that you do. Now, when you think about it, what are some of the things that enable you to commit to exercise for life?
I think, like, for me, I think it just makes you feel so good. I think you get a little bit addicted to how it makes you feel. Right. And then when you stop and you take even a week away from that, you know, when you realize, oh my gosh, it's hard to get back at it, you don't want to go through that feeling again. So that kind of, to me, is what keeps me going. And my days are way better. The days I exercise versus the days I don't, I have way more energy. I just feel better.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you agree?
I think that I've lucked out in finding a great group of people that think the same way about exercise as I do, and they're all strong and committed, and it just finding that group of people.
Like, you think if you didn't find a group of people like that, you wouldn't be as committed?
No, I would be obese.
I don't think that's true. No. But honestly, like, that's a big thing for you, hey?
Yeah, having someone to go and work out with and share that experience with and be committed to. I don't feel as I'm as committed to myself as I am to other people.
Right. That's a really good point, that you're committed, because we all have that sort of, like, people pleasing. Especially people who are people pleasers have that mentality that I can't let them down. I'll let myself down, you know, by not doing this A, B, or C. But if I'm committed to someone else, I would not let them down. Yeah. What about you, Denise? Why have you been so committed to exercise?
Well, yeah, I mean, I like how it makes me feel, and I just feel like it since I've had it as part of my routine, it's just something that I have to do. Like, it's a priority. I don't even think about my next day, and I'm such a scheduled person that, oh, I'm not going to work out tomorrow. It's just something that is part of my everyday life. Plus, I do like the commitment of having a trainer and having a group of girls that are like-minded and that we are committed to doing it together. I feel that I can be committed to going to the gym, but I'm not, I enjoy someone like training me and kicking my butt 3 times a week rather than, am I going to do that myself at the gym? Now that I'm in that routine and it's been so many years, I would miss it if I didn't have it.
Right. I mean, not everyone can have a trainer. That's you're right. It's nice that you can have that, and it's a treat to have that. So if you don't have someone showing up on your doorstep, like, even for you guys, how do you motivate yourself when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. to get up? Like, what is the driving factor? And can other people have that factor? Like, some people say they want to do that, but they just can't. So what is it at 5 a.m. that really says, you know what, this isn't just a, hey, I should work out. This is a, I must work out. I must do this for my life. How do you get that?
I think Shannon said it in the beginning. You just feel so good once you've done the exercise, and it gets it out of the way. You don't have to worry about fitting it in between your kids' soccer practices and hockey practices and grocery shopping and all that kind of stuff. Right. It's just there and it's done, and it's just, you don't have to think about it. You just get up and do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's that time, like Jen said, it's your time where you've committed to other people, not only yourself, so that makes it easier when you do have a group that you make a commitment to. And maybe it's not that you have a trainer and you can go meet that group, but maybe it's someone you pick that you go for a walk with, or it's just moving, right? So maybe if you can just find that person that you hold that commitment to. But truly, like for me and all of us, if we don't go at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, I don't get it done. So you know, it has to be that early, but now I love getting up that early. I actually like, I said to you the other day, I actually like when it's still dark outside and we're done. I'm like, yes, okay, I still have a whole day.
Yeah. I have a client who really longs to be a fit person. Like that's in her mind. She says, I want to be seen as that. Does that ring true for you guys too? Like, is that something like you say, yeah, I want people to know that I'm fit and healthy?
I definitely want that, and it's interesting because I think it's how people see you. You see yourself differently, so I think we're always, for me, I'm always striving for that.
Sure.
Some people may say, oh, you guys are so strong and so fit, but to me, I'm like, we are? Yeah, I guess we are.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's just something that I do every day, so I don't even recognize that, oh, maybe people do see us like that, or do they think that because they just know we work out, so they just automatically assume, you guys must be so fit.
Right.
But yeah.
When in your life have you felt the strongest?
I would have to say I felt the strongest just before when we first started flipping those tires for Fem Sport.
Right.
That's when I felt I was strong.
Right.
300-pound tire.
So what kind of encouragement, motivation, what does that give you to feel strong?
Definitely confident, like, you know, you can go in and you can, you know, push a car and, you know, you're strong, you can do it. It's, you know, that.
So you hold yourself differently. Like, do you feel like you kind of walked into a room a little bit differently with your muscles?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You're empowered a bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like you feel that sense of empowerment, and you know what? I don't need anyone else. I can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a little bit of that mentality in behind. I think for me, it's you know, it's like, oh yeah, I'm strong enough to do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, and as women sometimes, don't you, like, I mean, sometimes I'll use that, like, I can't lift that, honey, go get that, you know, it's too heavy for me. But honestly, I remember being in an airplane and grabbing my heavy carry-on to go put up, and a guy came behind me and said, can I help you? I'm like, no. I lift weights for a living. You don't need to help me. No, so it always felt like good to be able to do that for yourself, right?
Yeah, well, there's a difference. I like lifting weights, but I don't like lifting luggage.
Luggage, not so much. I got it.
I think that sometimes people actually, until they actually tell themselves, this is something that I've learned over the years, and when I hear people going, oh, I want to exercise, or I want to get fit, or I don't make time for myself, and then they go, you know what, I'm getting on this, and
January 1st,
I'm doing it. But what they don't realize is so many people give up after 2 weeks, and then they just go, I can't fit it in anymore. So they don't realize that it takes 4 to 6 weeks before you actually start feeling good, feel like your eating's in check, and that's the hardest part, is getting yourself to that where it just is. I wake up in the morning and I don't even think that I'm not working out. It's just what I do. So, but and there's going to be seasons where it's almost Christmas. Of course, we're going to be going out more or doing more, having more drinks or whatever. But it's always still part of what I do, whether I'm on vacation or at home, you know, having company or whatever. So I do think that a lot of people don't give themselves, they just let it go.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that too, because it takes, like you said, it takes a long time to get into that habit of putting yourself on the list and making sure that you are taking care of yourself. But there's the rub in there too, because again, people will take care of themselves in other capacities, you know, like maybe they're taking care of their career, they take care of their children really well, or you know, maybe their hygiene, their health, their hair, their makeup, everything looks all put together. But sometimes there's that one thing, that fitness. So yeah, what could you say to people who, you know, are thinking of making it a habit, want to change, want to make that shift, but just, you know, what does it require? What sort of commitment to fitness does it require to get over that hump over that quitting period of 2 weeks and making it sustainable, because you guys have done that. So what have you done? How did you do that?
When you're feeling fit and in shape and confident about how you look, until you feel that, and if you don't get to that state where you actually feel that, you have nothing to strive for.
Right.
So you actually can go through life for many years of just going, I'm okay with, I don't know if this is the best I'm going to feel.
Right, that's such a good point, Denise, is that we don't, that's why even though I said, when did you feel the strongest? Like that feeling, remember that. So now we're maybe 2 years past an event, a run or something that you've done. But if you can think back, that felt so amazing. That's what I want to go for this next stage. Then it gives you something to strive for, right? Yeah, I think that's important.
And I think too, it's about becoming comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right, so explain that a little bit more.
It's about pushing yourself and knowing that, okay, this might hurt, or I'm pushing myself, or I'm coming to work out with a group of girls I don't know that well, and it might be hard, and I might be the weakest one, but it's okay. And I'm going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to be okay, and I'm going to get past that, and it's kind of pushing yourself. Like I always look and try to push myself every day to be a little bit uncomfortable, because I think that's how you grow. So working out's the same thing. If you kind of push yourself to be uncomfortable and get comfortable with that, you'll continue to do it, because that almost gets addicting on its own, sort of.
Being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. And it's just, even when you're going for a run, you get to that point where you're so tired and you're thinking, okay, I can't do this. It's like, yes, you can, and you can push through it. Just because it's hurting, don't give up. Just keep going, because that's how you get going. Like that's how you get there. So it doesn't mean that you're too tired or that you're not strong enough. It just means that you have to push through it.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a counselor, I took a course on mindfulness, and part of it we learned, we were talking about how people can have pain, and then how people can have pain with suffering. And some people can have pain and be okay with the pain that's there. They just deal with it. Like, I remember having a baby. If you've had a baby, it's pain. It's there. You got to deal with it, or you can freak out and lose your mind and scream like I did with my first child, because I wanted everyone to know that I was suffering. I wanted everyone to know this is hard. This is hard for me. I can't wake up at 6 a.m. You can do it because you've got whatever, right? Your situation is different than mine, and so I've got this pain, and I'm just going to complain about it, and I'm going to let everyone know that I'm in pain. So you can either have pain with suffering, or you can have pain like we all do. We all have busy schedules. We all have, life tugging at us, but we still make a decision, for our health and wellness in the middle of it, right? So I think that makes a big difference, is that you can just, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I get.
I like that too. I didn't do that one.
Generally.
I think so. Once you get into that groove of working out and the muscles hurting and all that kind of stuff, you almost look forward to it. It's been a good workout if you have trouble standing up the next day, or when you laugh it hurts.
You guys are so funny. You're always like, thanks for that workout, killer. You can barely walk.
It's true,
exactly.
you do.
If I don't hurt, I feel like that wasn't good enough. Like I need to always be.
So do you think there's some people who, like some of my clients have said, I don't like to feel sore. I don't like that feeling. Like it really bothers me. It kind of wrecks my day. I can't do this. I can't do that. Are there some people that just kind of crave that sort of pain, and some people who don't? And maybe the people who do are going to be the people who can stay fit and be fit for the rest of their lives? Like what's the variable there?
Maybe.
Trying to figure it out.
Trying to get through that, because I remember when I first started with you girls, and I was sore all the time. And I was, I think, more sore than you guys, because I could hardly walk to get in the door. And I just kept going, and I kind of got past that really uncomfortable sore. And then now I get sore, and I'm like, okay, but it's not as though I can't walk, but it's there. It's a different, you just have to keep pushing, and you get through it, I think.
I think that's a good tip for people who thinking of starting, out, is that, those first, 3-4 weeks, like first month is painful. It's hard.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's also how you know that you're growing, your muscles are working, and you're doing the right thing if you're sore a little bit the next day. I mean, you don't have to not be able to walk or anything, but just getting dressed, lifting off your shirt or something. If you're like, oh, I worked out my rotator cuffs yesterday, I can kind of feel that,
What do do you think the value of putting fitness in like your self-care routine is?
Well, I think mentally it's so important to give yourself, as we're all busy moms, and you know, this is a perfect time of year where we're taking on so many things. We're taking care of gifts and family and, you know, so many things that, and then working on top of it, I think that it is mentally, it kind of...
So what does it do for you mentally?
It just makes me feel good, and it makes me feel better about myself and that I've done something for myself. And to me, it is like one of the #1 things I like to do for myself. To be able to spend time with the girls that we work out with, and then that I'm just taking that time out to just do something I want to do. That's just for me.
Yeah, I think it's also a good way for, I mean, you carry the stress of the season in so many different ways: sore back, sore neck, headaches, whatever. Getting out and getting some exercise, I think, helps to relieve that. And I think that that's part of, you know, you have to feed your body as well as, you know, not just take care of it. You have to, you know,
nourish
tune
it up and tune her up. Yeah, no, that's good. It's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the only vessel you have. So you don't use it, you lose it, right? I always say to clients that your health is a glass ball. Your health and your relationships, those are two balls that are glass balls. And if you drop them, like glass shatters, right? Like what? And so it's hard because people don't get the gravity of that, sometimes myself included, because you feel okay today. Today I feel fine. Or like I don't need to work out because I feel okay, so what's the point of that? So maybe speak to that. Like, what have been the added benefits of working out? I mean, you said mentally, yes, it instills confidence, but what are some other things that like even with your work, has it made you more productive? Has it made you clearer, more creative? You know, those sorts of things. Let's talk about that.
For sure, it's definitely made me more clear. It's made me be able to focus more on work. I think I'm a better mom from working out. It gives me that stress release, and I get all of that out, and then I can focus more on my kids. And I'm getting also that time for myself. So, you know, you can just more focus on them and give them more that one-on-one time.
Yeah, you don't feel pulled in a million, I mean, we feel pulled in a million directions.
But it helps with it.
Right, because then you're like, I have this hour for me. Yeah.
I feel like anybody, you know, whether I have company come to town or, you know, you're just like going throughout your day, but if someone said to me, do you want to go for a hike or you want to go work out or something, I feel confident and fit enough that I can just do anything. Sure, let's go run the stairs or let's go do something, like where I don't have to be that person that always says, oh, I won't be able to keep up. Oh, I won't. And for me, I have been the last person going for a run or for hikes, but it doesn't, at least I'm getting out there because I know that actually pushes me more, and I will be up with the people at the front, or you know, it doesn't really matter. Yeah,
I mean, we're all on different levels, different journeys, and I think at times that can be a deterrent for people, right? You're last, you feel embarrassed, self-conscious, right? And so it's like, I don't want to go to the gym or start that program because people will look at me and laugh at me.
What if I'm the worst one?
Yeah.
What if I stand out?
Right, so it's embarrassing and people don't want to even start. So what advice would you give to those people wanting to start fresh, start new, but they don't know what to do? They're brand new.
Well, there's always going to be somebody else that's brand new.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that other person that wants to start the routine or whatever. And if someone, you know, helps you while you're working out, just make sure that you can be that person for the next person that's brand new. And you know, it just doesn't, and then it won't be quite as uncomfortable when you want to do something new and know that you're not going to be the best at it.
And I think too, know that everybody's life is so busy that if you go and you're the first one or you're the newest one or you feel like you're standing out, everyone's too busy to notice. Like everyone's just doing their thing, and it's, you know, you think that it's, oh my gosh, I'm going to stand out, but no one notices.
That's so true.
I think just know that you can and get out there and try.
I agree. I think people will look at you once because you might be a new face there. They'll glance at you, make a mental note, that's a new person, and then they're doing their thing. It is, you know, it can be like intimidating going into a gym. I even went at a time where I normally don't go, so I didn't know anyone there. This was just recently, so it was just a month ago. And it was super busy, and there was tons of fit guys there mostly. Like it was at 4 p.m., so it's just full of men at that time. And there's a few token women, but they're usually on the cardio machines, right? So I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, there's so many people here. And for a moment, I did feel that sort of intimidation. I kept looking at the door, hoping my son would walk in so I would know someone, so have that connection. You know, so I get it. Like we all have moments where we feel intimidated and it's self-conscious. But as I told myself, like, you deserve to be here as much as anyone else does. Like, why are the rules of the universe different for you? They're not. You get to be here, she gets to be here, he gets to be here, everyone's allowed and welcome, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to remind ourselves that, you know, everyone's on a journey, and yours might be at the very beginning of the journey, but whatever, who cares?
And people, I think, that are working out or they're at that class or whatever it is that you're going to do, they're going to look and think, this is great, you're here, you showed up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So they appreciate it, I think, and respect it.
Yeah. I agree. Like, people watching other people work out and put their heart and effort into it, respect that, don't they? It's like, yeah, I respect that. That's cool. Yeah.
I also think that it's very important that it shows our kids how to take care of their bodies, and that it's important to move every day and work out and get some form of exercise, and so that they see that, like, my kids automatically just, oh, are you going to work out, Mom? Like, they just know it's what I do.
It's part of your day, it's part of your life. I think that's a really good point, Denise, because when I ask people, when I first meet with them, what their fitness background is, if they hadn't exercised in their life, if their parents didn't make them, if it wasn't a priority, you know, I've trained one fella who is from India, grew up in India, and his parents always wanted to keep him inside so that he wouldn't be out in the sun. So he didn't get to run outside and play outside like other kids, right? So, I mean, depends on how you grew up, right? It's a big factor, because now as an adult, do you make time for that in your daily life? Is it a priority because your parents made it a priority? Do you want to move your body every day because you love the feeling of those endorphins that you got when you were young, all through your teenage life, you know, and now you just look forward to that release, stress release or whatever it is, right? So it's a big factor. It doesn't mean that you can't start and make a shift and change even if you didn't do exercises, because I've seen people do that too. But it's challenging. It's challenging for sure, more challenging, but totally doable. And you just got to take small steps, right? Yeah, like, don't go right out of the blocks and think that you're going to be able to, you know, perform like any one of you three day one, because you've been at it for years and years and years. So you just got to start small steps, measurable goals, and just continue. Yeah. Okay, any last words of advice for people looking this January to get into fitness, and any encouragement for them as they embark on this new lifestyle?
I think have patience with yourself and be kind to yourself, and give I mean, if you're ready to start adding exercise into your daily routine, give yourself time and know that it will happen if you stick to it.
Yeah. Good.
And start small, set small goals, so you will succeed and enjoy that feeling. And, you know, if you don't exercise at all, just start 15 minutes a day or something like that. Just baby steps.
Yeah.
And if you can, get someone you know that will start with you.
Yeah.
You know, give you that extra little bit of motivation or what have you.
Yeah.
Or make you accountable.
Yeah. Make them do it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. I thank my three friends here for joining us in this conversation, and I hope that you find some encouragement through our talk today. As always, go move daily in your fitness, wellness, and nutrition.